Welcome back to Real People with Stan Simpson, holistic health educator. Dr. Kevin Reese is talking about his journey to inner peace and how meditation has helped him master his mind, body, and spirit. He has his own podcast. Dr.
Hi.
What is the podcast again?
The podcast is
Name and the title.
Inner Peace with Dr. Reese.
Right. So
It rhymed. Why not? Well,
I like it. So listen, you're saying you're a radio guy. You were on air.
Yeah.
You had a sort of spiritual awakening one time, and then you
Yeah.
realized that, okay, being on air and media was not really what you wanted to do. Your
Yeah.
goal became peace rather than
Yeah.
material things.
Yeah.
So what made you quit? When did you finally quit radio?
I was at
Maybe.
I was at the ashram in July 2012.
For folks who didn't tune in, the ashram is the place where you go for sort of meditation. Folks who weren't here first segment, okay.
Yeah, spiritual community. And I quit radio in November, just a few months
November
later.
of,
2012. Just a few months later.
what is that like? I mean, that was your career, and all of a sudden you're quitting to seek, and you hate this term enlightenment, but you're seeking to find yourself, and what is that like?
I left everything on the floor, so it felt good walking away. My coworkers were shocked. They're still shocked, you know. But, you know, being on the radio isn't everything, and I wanted something else, so I became a health practitioner, and
Your new purpose, huh?
yeah, I went to go get my doctorate, and I started taking
Wrote
clients.
5 books, right? And
5 books, seminars, and then I had another realization, Stan. I realized I was in the same business.
what do you mean?
I went from a popularity contest to a popularity contest.
Doing the holistic.
It's the
How
same
so?
thing. It's the
How
same
so?
thing.
What do you mean?
Because when you're popular, you're in demand. And when you're in demand, you make money. So it took me a few years of going through that.
Was that unhealthy for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
What's unhealthy about making money?
I wouldn't say it's unhealthy. It just can trick you into, you know, thinking you're somebody that you're not.
And chasing the wrong kind of priorities, right?
I use the word illusionary, maybe is a good word, you know, where we sort of skew things, you know, our ego does that.
Right.
So I realized, you know, working with clients and being in the health business that, you know, it was still triggering my ego even though I left radio.
That ego was still there.
So luckily I was still in contact with the holy man, with the mystic. He mentored me for 7 years. He was very gracious enough to do
This
that.
is Eastern. What you study now is Eastern. What do you call what you're studying now?
I just call it spirituality. I'm I guess what you can call an omnist. I appreciate all religions. I study them all.
Right.
I know them all. And so, but you know, the truth is the truth, you know. And so,
Your truth, because on Sunday morning, people have their own. You have folks who are Jewish
Sure.
and Christians
Sure.
and Baptists.
Sure.
That's your truth,
sure,
right?
Sure. No, I study them all.
Right.
I study them all. Zen,
You still studying them. It sounds like still.
you know, Kabbalah, Christianity, all of them. They're all beautiful.
So a part of your journey, I want to talk about what I call 3 S's. Stress. I want to talk about sugar. I want to talk about salt. 'Cause I know you also done some things with nutrition a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
A lot of it.
yeah, let's talk and how they could be
Sure.
intertwined. Let's talk about stress.
Well, stress, we pretty much created ourselves. You know, I used to tell clients to be like, oh, I'm stressed. I say, you know, did you get chased by a lion? Because if you didn't get chased by a lion, then you're not really stressed. Fight or flight is real stress. Your house is burning and you got to get out, that's real stress. All right? Being stressed out about a bill or a relationship, you're just making that up in your mind, really.
You're making it bigger than it needs to be.
If you're living in the present moment and you're not thinking of the future and you're not thinking of the past, everything's all good.
So making a mountain out of a molehill, so to speak, right? That whole saying. You're saying a lot of people get stressed out because it's not really stress. They're just life things that they are making
It's our
bigger
minds.
into their mind.
It's our minds. It's our minds. Future brings anxiety. The past brings possible depression.
And presence brings what?
Peace.
Okay.
Peace. Yeah.
Sugar.
Sugar, you know, there's 2 types of sugar. There's refined sugar, that's the white stuff, that's the bad stuff. And that's the stuff you probably want to stay away from. Fruit,
Natural sugar.
that's supreme, natural, divine sugar.
Because you were big. We had you on 3 years ago. You were big on fruit,
Still
and
am.
smoothies, and
Yeah,
those kind of
still
things
am,
too.
still am.
Natural sugar, healthy. Refined sugar, no,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
How much is that contributing to a lot of problems with stress and anxiety, people's reliance on cookies and cakes and things that are loaded with sugar?
Well, lots of food basically stimulate the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are right above your kidneys and your back. These are our batteries, and the adrenal glands is where your adrenaline comes from. So if you start playing around with your adrenal glands, you can actually stimulate anxiety.
Or settle it down, right?
Right. So, if you get on a lot of fruits and vegetables, you may start repairing your adrenal glands, and stress will start coming down a little bit. But mostly it comes from the mind, of course.
Do you believe the body can heal itself? There are a lot of people who feel that the body, the mind.
I know it can heal itself because, I've done it, and my clients, old clients have done it, and it's all documented in my books.
Salt. How does that weigh in with the whole issue of inner peace and stress and nutrition?
I think let's put some context on salt. If you took salt, sodium out of your food, you wouldn't like your food anymore, except for fruit. That's what's interesting.
Well, when you say you wouldn't like it, meaning that society says you wouldn't like it, because I don't eat salt.
Right.
Right. So you're saying that the conventional wisdom is,
Yeah.
if you don't have salt on there, it will lose flavor.
Yeah, beans and rice isn't too appetizing without some sort of salt or spices.
Right.
Fruit is the only food that you don't need to put salt on or spice on. An apple's an apple, and it's delicious. It's supremely made. Salt is what causes food addiction. That's what we're really craving. When you're craving
chips,
a pizza,
those pretzels, pizza, yeah, okay.
when you're thinking about that pizza, you're really thinking about salt.
And it's sugar too, right? It's also part of the addiction. Isn't that sugar part of the?
Yeah, but not as much as salt.
Salt, it's okay.
Not as much as salt. Not
And the
as
salt
much.
contributes to a lot of high blood pressure. Is contributed to salt and the stress issue, where
But the top number is your adrenals.
which means what?
So the top number.
So 120 over 80, right? Normal blood pressure.
Right.
120, you would say your adrenal.
If your top number is, let's say, 150,
Right.
it means you're stressed.
stressed out.
That's your mind being stressed. Your bottom number is your kidneys, so that's where the salt would come in. So
You
the
need more water. If you have a high lower number, you need more water.
water, and guess what's in fruit?
Right. Well,
Water.
that's why fruit and vegetables are so good.
Correct.
All right, we're going to finish up. Here's some good stuff. We're going to finish up with 5 tips on how you can begin a journey to your own inner peace. We're here with Connecticut holistic health expert, Dr. Kevin Reese. We're talking about his journey to inner peace and how you can get there too. Don't go away. You're watching Real People with Stan Simpson.